Welcome back. You're still on my channel, Fumi Suleiman, and we're still talking about my faith and my entrepreneurship journey. And as I journey along, and I'm so glad you're here with me growing as well. Let me know if there's anything else you would like to hear. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you. God bless. Shalom.
So a number of us, because it's friends and family, like I said, so we have, people of different professions and, walks of life and all that. So the medical people in our midst gave us the advice to use what is called kwashi pap. Now, kwashi pap is millets and all those lovely things. And there's soya beans, there's shrimps, there's, what's the other one now? There's crayfish, all sorts of lovely things. And we should just begin to feed him on that alone aggressively for 6 months.
Wow.
So that was him in August, the very next month. And you can see there was already difference, between him then. And I look at him in October. But he hadn't started walking. All this while he still wasn't walking. So even though he had started, he had put up some weight, he had some color, his hair had stopped being, brown. It was now black. You can see it was black and all that, but he wasn't walking. So I was still talking to the head of the home. I said to her that my friends and I, we had put up we had agreed to have him go to the hospital and do like a complete check and find out what the issue was. And she said to me that I should remember that every child who comes in, before they come in, they take them to the hospital and they do checks on them. And that I should trust her judgment. She's, been around this kind of, children for a while. So she knows everybody just has a delay. Everybody has their own timing. They're giving him the food, they're feeding him well, everything is fine. He's just going to take a bit. But later on, I found out that one of the young ladies in the home, she had just finished her university education. So she came home to wait for NYSC. So what she did was, at that time, because all the young adults were in school, so the ones that were at home were not really looking after the babies. So she took all the babies into her own room and started looking after all of them. About 3 or 4 babies at that time. And then, because she was having close care, she could see that his bones were fragile and brittle. So she asked the lady that could they please get multivitamins and something for the bones for him. And I kid you not, once he started taking those meds, not too long after that, he started crawling.
Oh.
Actually sent me, because I took interest in him. I was so worried. Even when I would voice it out in my group. I would say, I'm worried for this child. We'll talk about him and, And so they sent me his pictures and videos because they knew that I had personal interest in him. They were, they were giving me updates very regular. So I would get videos of him crawling, videos of him taking his footsteps and holding the wall, and and now he's everywhere. So that just before I did my presentation on Tuesday, he walked. Of course, he now walks. He walked in and said, "Good morning," my very shrilly voice. "Good morning, ma," and went on his knees because he's going around the ladies. They haven't taught him how to prostrate like men. So he still kneels down. So he crowd bend down. And of course, everybody knows and calls him my son. So there you have it. That's him.
Oh, wow. That's good. Oh, these are gifts that you
These are gifts from people, from organizations, from my store, friends, family, strangers, because everyone in that group, is like-minded. So they also reach out to their own friends, their own family. And, so it's a beautiful experience. And what they say to me on a regular is they don't have the energy to do what I'm doing. They've wanted to do this for a while, but they don't have the time or the energy to do it. So they are so glad that I'm able to. Because when I tell them, oh, guys, you guys are amazing. Without you, there's no me. And they look, you are doing it for us. We are also, we can't do it. You are doing, so it's a beautiful synergy. Let me just put it that way.
Wow. You guys also offer them this one too?
Oh, yeah. So what we do every quarter, we reach out to them. We visit them every quarter, or I visit every quarter. We give them food stuff every quarter. Right now, we started doing it on a monthly basis because people who used to support them before had started, human beings, they face their own challenges. So they're not as, they're not able to help. So what my friends and I decided to do was step up our game. So every quarter we reach out to them to say, what are the projects what's the most pressing need for the home? At that time, there was renovation of the sick bay, there was the nursery, and there was a third thing. I can't remember what the third thing was. And so I told them to give us a list of what they would require. I'm sure you saw the list. So they gave us, headers and gave us all the prices. And once I just dropped it on my platform, people just started saying, I'll do this, I'll do that. People just started dropping in money. And in no time, we had all that. So what they do for us, and what I make them do on a regular too, is also to give us pictures, if it's money we give, let's have receipts to show my people that, their money has gotten to where it's supposed to get to. If it's the renovations and updates, stuff like this. Yeah. So we get all the information. Yeah. And it's been 9 years, like you said. So they're no longer, we call them family now. We call them, the young ones in the home, we call them our siblings. And we are family to them. Wow. And I've grown from just being someone who goes there. Last year, I was nominated to be on the advisory board. Now, a few months after, nominated to be on the executive board of the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even give food stuff.
Oh, we do, definitely. Rice, beans, gari, semo, whatever they ask for, Indomie, we give, And what thing is, by default, if you go to an orphanage home, the first thing you think of carrying is a bag of rice. So most people always carry rice over there. And what happens is, because you're only taking rice, you're not taking care of the other protein and all the other important things.
Yeah.
So they'll just have a store full of rice and nothing else. But thanks to God, who always give me the wisdom to ask them, what do you need? So they explain to us that, what, they have more than enough of rice. What they need is. So most of the time now, we just do beans and semo or gari or, whatever they ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And this is
they have a Christmas party every end of year that Sheraton Hotel does on their behalf.
Oh, wow.
So this is actually in the hall of Sheraton Hotel. And then there's someone who every year, as her own contribution, she gives them the whole entire home. She buys them Ankara material. So everyone dresses in uniform. So you can see that. Oh, they are good dancers. Oh, they are really, really good dancers. Really good dancers.
Wow. And this, I decided to put this because I wanted to show how relatable you are with them. I wanted to show everyone that you actually do have fun with them.
Oh, yes, I do.
This was when you were trying to take a picture with all of them, but you didn't know. I'm not sure what you were trying to do.
I was just trying to have a view, and then they were telling me love and light. They were, he was telling them, give her some love and light. And I was like, what is that? So I had to watch them do it again. So they were snapping their fingers while giving me love and light.
Okay.
Can you see her? Can you see her?
It's really nice.
And this one, they were actually telling my friends and I, thank you.
Oh, okay. And this is your team?
Yeah, well, this is, I was going to say this is me. The gentleman he's the person that took over from the late owner, CEO of the home.
Yeah.
All right. So he's the one that runs, he's the director of special duties at the moment. The lady is someone I got, she's a child psychologist. She works very well with and regularly with children and young adults. She has her own corporate organization. So one of the visits I did, I think it was at the top of the year, I had one-on-one meetings with a number of the children. And my takeaway was they kind of feel less of, how will I put it? They feel how I felt when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You understand? So I decided that even though there's so much pep talk you can give, I'm not a professional. I just come and give you my own life story, and I charge you up and I hug you and I pray with you, and you can call me, you can share your information with me. But I knew that it went beyond that. Yeah, because even for him, the gentleman also grew up in the home, was also one of the children products of the home.
Yeah.
And he resonated, he said to me that this is actually something that they were also experiencing in their own time.
Yeah.
They feel less qualified because, they're growing up in an orphanage home. So you need someone to come and tell them there's nothing different from you and that child that is with her mom and her dad in her own home, So I reached out to my friends and said, do you guys know anyone that can, child psychologists that can talk to these children? So I got 2 names. And this lady, Mrs. Oyinda Debowale, happened to be one of the names.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to her and, I just shared my vision with her that I wanted something that would be added into the curriculum of the children, not necessarily just come and talk to them and go, that it will now be part of their curriculum.
Yeah.
They would have an in-house counselor. They would have one-on-one sessions. They would have group sessions. So I just shared my vision and asked her to come up with a proposal. Then we were preparing for this seminar that happened last week, a week-long seminar. It's an annual seminar that happens, and it's one of the brainchilds of this gentleman. Even before he started leading the place, he had always been doing it, and the one for this year was becoming the best you. That was the theme, so we all had our own sessions. So I reached out to her to say, could she come and give us a session? And she willingly, came on board. And apparently she had actually come to the home on her own accord last year. She wrote a book last year, and said she just had a lead-in to come and give copies of the book to the home. So on her own, she found her way in the home. She gave the book. She had the session with them. Some people took her numbers, and and that was it. So when I started talking to her, she was like, oh, she now explained to me that she had been to the home before. So she gladly came. So on this day was the first day we were meeting, because I've been talking on the phone and chatting, but this day was the day we met.
Yeah.
And she had her session. She had just rounded up her session. There was a break time. So within the break time, we concluded our meeting. Then I had my own afternoon session.
Wow.
And the lady is someone from her staff, from her team.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And you said one of your team members won an award from the Fela.
Some of the members of my group, like I said, they're from people from all walks of life. Large percentage of them are from where I've worked before, both places and then my friends and my family and people that I know in course of my life's journey. And 2 of them on the group happened to be part of Fela Durotoye's 50th birthday
planning committee.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So one of the initiatives that they had was to adopt 50 orphanages across Africa.
Wow.
So because 2 of them, they've been, on my platform from Jump, naturally they would nominate. In fact, both of them didn't know that they were on the platform together. So the first one reached out to me. The first one who is actually coordinating, that's the lady in white on the extreme right. Hawaii Amabo. Yes, I can mention her name and appreciate her. Hawaii Amabo. So she's been a friend from secondary school days. And she's not based, she lives out of town. So she quickly put in Ijamido's name as, she nominated Ijamido, and she called me and said, I just nominated Ijamido. I hope they would consider it. And so while they have different platforms for, they have different initiatives that he did. He did so many different things. So on that particular one, they had their own WhatsApp platform. So she said, not too long after she nominated Ijamido, somebody now seconded to say yes, So she now said, oh, that somebody else here knows Ijamido, that I hope, not knowing that they were both on the platform on my WhatsApp group. You understand?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until later when because this was the call. This was the day of his birthday, the actual day of the celebration. He was having a thank you gathering with his own people. If you can see my picture right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
So while I was filming all the things that, of course, concerned myself and the home, so I could share with people on my WhatsApp platform. So I now saw the name of, so when I logged in, I now saw the name of the second person, because that second person never told me anything.
Wow.
You know, so I now reached out to her privately. So I know it's you. So she now had a good laugh that, you know, so that's how come I got to know that. So like I said, people on the group, they, you know, on their own reach out, because it's not just me. It's people, just like-minded people wanting to give back to, you know, to their community, to just do some good, you know, and feel good about it. There's such a rush I get after we accomplish something. Yeah. So they went to visit the home. So I was the contact person, of course, when, you know, we now scaled through whatever parameters they had.
Yeah.
We qualified. So I got a few calls from the person who was to cover the area where the home was.
Yeah.
They went to the home. They saw everything. It was as it said, you know, said it was. And then they gave, you know, the lovely things that they did. And the intention is that they will still continue. It won't just be a one-off. Like I said, he adopted the home as well. Wow. You know, so in that time, they reached out to me to say, you know, what are the key things? So I mentioned to them that there were a few of the young adults who had just finished some vocational training who were needing money to set up into their business. So there's one of them like a hairdresser, and that one a trader, another gentleman, electrical tools for this, you know, generator technology and all that. So they've done for 2 people, I believe, on their own. They've, you know, blessed, giving money for people to start off their own businesses, set them up, rent a store, buy wares, and, you know, and start off. Yeah.
So you slightly answered the next question I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
But I'll just give you a background of what I want to ask you before I ask you that question.
Okay.
So the foundations, like I have an auntie that does something like this, something similar. Her name is Auntie Chichi. I'm calling her here. I don't know if she like it. She can keep me later. I don't care.
On time at time.
Does the same thing. Auntie Chichi. There's this guy, Williams Chamber Foundation.
Okay.
There's Adeola Fayon's Foundation, Kawa Foundation. There is Wodemaya. So you too. What I'm trying to ask is, even my pastor in church, she said something about a foundation today.
Okay.
There's something similar about you all. There's something similar, and that's something I'm still trying to learn. I won't say it here now because I want to fully learn that before I actually start talking about it.